If you don't know cash flow management, then you're losing money while you sleep. All right, so I'm going to teach you the secret to being profitable in your gym from day number 1. Okay, here's the secret. Now, the old way of doing cash flow management is this in a nutshell. Okay, sales, like money in, so sales minus expenses equals profit. All right, so like people pay memberships, they buy supplements, apparel, whatever, like that's sales, money comes in, minus expenses. This is like the lease on your building, this is paying coaches, this is, inventory, buying supplements, things like that. So money in minus money out equals profit. So like what you do as a gym owner is you're making money, yay, and then you start paying people, and then you hope at the end of the month there's like a little bit of money left over that you can then pay yourself, okay? So that's the old way of doing things, and it's wrong. All right, correction, it's not wrong, it's archaic, and it works, it's technically right. It's just if you have full-time staff to kind of watch your cash flow, like full-time in-house accountants and things like that, then that's how they do things and that's how it works. But my hunch is that that's not you, right? This is for micro gyms. Like some of you, this is your full-time thing, is to be the gym owner. Some of you, it's a part-time gig. You have a full-time job and this is like your side hustle, your passion project. So like how can you guarantee that you're nailing cash flow management? Well, like I'm an engineer, so I'm going to explain this in reverse, okay? Let's take this. So let's take expenses and move it to the other side of the equation and move the profits, okay? So sales minus profit equals expenses. Okay, so mathematically this statement is still true, okay? So all you mathematicians or engineers out there or physicists or whatever, like you'll agree with this. Mathematically you can just move these two terms around and it's the truth. In reality, it's also the truth, okay? Now, what do I mean by this? I mean the updated way to do cash flow management to guarantee you're profitable on day number 1 is to pay profits first, pay yourself first, okay? That's the big secret. Now, we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper, but that's like high level it in a nutshell. And let me explain why this works in terms that you understand, because I get it. I don't want to scare you off. Maybe you're not an accountant or whatever, and so I don't want to scare you. Now, let me ask you this. When you have people that come to your gym, a lot of them want to lose weight, right? And so I know that there's great programming and there's like great nutrition programs and all this kind of stuff to like help them lose weight. But what's one of the most basic ways just to help them lose weight? A lot of it is just like eat less, like calorie management, right? And so as humans, when we dish up a meal, dish up dinner, for example, if we fill up our plate, we're going to eat all that stuff in front of us. Okay, it's the same with like junk in your house, junk food. It's like if you have someone trying to lose weight, what do you tell them about having junk food around? Just get rid of it. Get it out of your house. Like go home and throw away your Oreos, throw away your cookies and candy and all this kind of stuff. Just get it out. Okay, like if it's there, if it's in front of you, if you can see it and like smell it, then odds are you're gonna eat it. Or at very least, like why are you tempting yourself anyway? So like just stop expending that mental energy and just get it out of your house. But on the financial side of things, how many of you do the exact opposite of this? Let me explain. Okay, so if the way you run your cash flow is you just have one account, right? Like one bank account and money comes in and that's the same bank account that you're paying people from and paying off credit cards and paying your lease and all that kind of stuff. It's the exact same as your client who's trying to lose weight and he goes home and he has a bunch of Oreos at the house, okay? Because like let's imagine this is like his plate, okay, and he fills it full of stuff. Like you fill it full of food and then you eat all that food, and if you just had a smaller plate, if you instead of this plate you had this plate and you ate like half the food, that's calorie management. Boom, you eat less, you lose weight. Okay, don't throw rocks at me. I know it's more complicated than that. Okay, but just humor me here. And so the same thing, if you've got a bank account, let's just draw a box like this is your bank account and this is your one account that you run your business from, and sales comes in and expenses go out, to the landlord, to the coaches, to the supplement providers, to the apparel, and then this is from memberships and this is from supplements, this is from running your event, your open, your 6-week challenge or whatever. It's like money is coming in and out. It's really tough to manage all these moving parts out of one account. And by the way, if you're like, I really could use a new rower, I could use some more barbells, I could, it'd be nice if we ran this challenge, this special challenge. Let's print t-shirts for that. Like, how do you know if you can afford it? Well, odds are if you're running it out of one bank account, you're going to open your bank account and just see if there's money there. Okay? And so if you open the bank account and you're like, dang, there's 20 grand in there, we're good, then you're going to grab 20 grand and spend 10 grand to buy some equipment or whatever. The problem with doing this is that your expenses are not all some of them are variable costs, some of them are fixed costs. Like your lease is the same thing every month, right? It hits you the same amount. Your coaching fees is a variable cost, right? If you have one coach covering more classes, like 1 week, you're going to pay them more. And if you're covering more classes, you'll pay yourself more, right? So things are variable. If people buy more supplements, then you might make more, but you also have higher costs of supplying those supplements. You get the idea. Some costs are fixed, some costs are variable. And so if your way of managing your cash flow is to open up one account and look and just see if you have money there and then make the decision, yep, we got enough, let's buy some more stuff. What's going to happen is you get to the end of the month and you realize that, halfway through the month you had 20K, but then you had all these expenses that happened in between then and now you're actually at negative 5K. Yikes. Okay? That's bad. Okay, so instead of managing it out of one account, here's the proposal. You have multiple accounts. And for gyms, the magic number is 7. Okay, and right when money comes in, every single time you get paid from something, whatever it is, membership, supplements, events, all that kind of stuff, every time money comes in, the very first thing you do is you take off a predetermined percentage and you transfer it into a separate account for profits. Okay? And a good target to start with, if you're not sure, is 5%. Okay? Now, the second thing, the very second thing to do is to take a predetermined amount to pay taxes. Okay, not very sexy, but it's definitely needed. And let's just say 5%, okay? And don't worry about the percentages. There's more, if you care, you can follow me. We'll chat more about this kind of stuff. But why do we do this? Because look, if you're just starting out and you sell one person a $1 thing, okay? Free week, all you gotta do is pay me $1. And they pay a $1 and immediately you split 5 cents, a nickel, and put it into your profits account, okay? And then a nickel into taxes. So Uncle Sam's happy no matter what. Okay, at the end of the year, if that's the only thing you did all year, then you can pay your taxes. And then everything else is in these buckets, like paying your coaches and paying yourself for your time and paying for new equipment, all this kind of stuff. All this comes after. What's going to happen? Even though you only made $1, you are profitable today. You post 1 nickel of profits, you're profitable. Now, I know it sounds silly because no one can survive off of a nickel, but you get the idea. If you have a system, an automated system in place to manage your cash flows, then for every $1 you get a nickel in profits. Imagine if you do $100,000, okay? $100,000 means that you posted $5,000 profit that year. Profit. That's money that's left over after the expenses, right? Remember this formula, only we reversed it and we took out profit first. You pay yourself first. That's the novel idea. But you can't do it. It's really impossible to do if you're managing all your cash flow out of one bank account. So we're going to talk deeper about this, but that's the problem, and this is the solution, is just to manage your cash flow better. You need to, every time money comes in, automatically, without you having to make a decision, you need to take a predetermined percentage and transfer it into a profits account. Okay, and then because you don't want to go to jail, you also need to do the same thing for taxes. Okay, because I promise you, if you don't do this, what will happen for many people is money comes in, and then you pay money out with no thought to profits or taxes, and then you get to the end of the year and you realize that there's you don't have any money left over for you, and Uncle Sam comes knocking on the door asking for taxes for services and cost of the goods rendered, and you say, well, shoot, I don't have anything left in my bank account because like every person, if I see a positive number right here, I'm just going to spend it. I'm going to say, I get to the end of the year, awesome, I'm going to, I have $2,000, I can go buy a couple, barbells, woohoo! And that's like your Christmas present to yourself, Christmas present to the gym, but you don't realize that Uncle Sam's going to come knocking 3 months from now asking for that $2,000. And you're like, oh, I don't have it. Well, guess what? Jail time. Okay, so you don't want jail time. And it's not just about getting out of jail, it's also about rewarding yourself for the financial risk of running a business. Okay? You're taking it, why are you doing this instead of just being a member? Let someone else be the owner. Let someone else take the financial risk, and you just show up hunky-dory every day and do your workouts and participate in the culture of the gym and make friends and laugh and joke, and you don't have any worries, right? Well, you're different from that. Okay, you decided to take a financial risk and open this gym, make this space, generate create this community, add value to people, make transformational, create transformation in people's lives. That was the risk you took. You ought to be rewarded for that. Well, it doesn't happen automatically unless you do it. And this is where this comes into play, because every time money drops into here, you take this out first, the cream off the top, and you give it to yourself. That way, no matter what happens, income goes up, income goes down, no matter what, you've posted a profit. I have run my businesses like this for 2 years. And that's how I know if you follow a cash flow management system like this, you're profitable day number 1. Now, maybe you're not in hog heaven day number 1, but at least you can go out and buy a piece of bubble gum, okay? And you can chew that gum with all the satisfaction in the world, knowing that it's pure profits that paid for that gum, okay? And that you can not just buy that gum, but you can cover your taxes, the business has covered your tax burden, and you have rearranged, by the way, you rearrange your priorities automatically so that whenever the question comes to your mind, can we afford new equipment, or can we afford a new marketing campaign or whatever, when you take a look at this account, this one account, because you've structured it like this, it will tell you whether or not you're able to do that. It will give you smarter information on your business. Okay, if your business is groaning under the strain of pressure, you will know it just by looking at one account. But it only happens if you have this system set up. Okay, if you don't, if you're operating everything just out of one place like this, which is where most gyms operate, they just have one bank account and money comes in, money comes out. If I open it and look at that, it tells me nothing. It really doesn't. It doesn't tell me anything because it's just one data point. There's no up trends, down trends. There's no way for me to know well, can I pay myself this month? Can I pay my coaches this month? I don't know. So let's just stop that and redesign the way we do our cash flow management, and that way you can ensure profits. Okay?